All right, and we're live. Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. Shout out to the first three people here this morning. Miss Goldie Robinson, thank you for being here. Nicole Bazaar, good morning. And Sash, good morning. Let me do my morning intro. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra special big up shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my entrepreneurs, my stay at home moms and pops, my retirees. Shout out to all the drivers out there, the Uber driver, Lyft driver, truck driver, taxi driver, long distance truck drivers. Shout out to the brother Troy Stars Trucking Vlogs on YouTube. Please continue to go over there and support Troy's channel. That's Troy Stars Trucking Vlogs on YouTube. Shout out to Wifey, of course, that's Shakira Sphere on YouTube, Sphere, Shakira Sphere. Go over to Wifey's channel, hit that up as well, and let her know that, yes, Wifey will support you, to like always support the husband. These kind of things. Shout out to every single clean-hearted, good-hearted person who wants good for others as much as you want good for yourself. God, we are deal with. Here we are this morning. Listen, we have a couple things to talk about. Not much. I'm going to talk about my own experience after seeing Macka Diamond do her crying thing yesterday. We're also going to talk about, if you notice, the headline of this video says Macka Diamond fake cry. All right. Let me say this from the beginning. It's not that I am saying that she was fake crying, but I'm going to discuss this from an angle of a comment, or many comments actually by this time, that's saying, fear cry, the girl fear cry. The next one say, watch Macka look a boss. All these kind of things. So we're going to talk about that. I don't know if you've seen the Macka Diamond video yet. Where's my phone? I don't know if you've seen the Macka Diamond video yet, but that's all I have on the table for you this morning. But you know how we talk already, so that the stories always lead us into something else. Big up to every person who got their feet on the ground this morning. You're up, you're feeling healthy and strong, and you're off to get it. Some of them don't feel too healthy and strong this morning, but under the weather and all these things, we still give thanks for life. Yes, because some people didn't wake up this morning and them gone permanently. All right, so you have another day to get to your goals and these kind of things. Make it a happy day. So we start the day off like this. All right, for that joke aside now, I don't know if y'all know it, but I was into music myself. I'm still into music. I still write music. I didn't really want to be an artist, even though I tried the artist thing, but I always want to be a writer, composer. See? So I still pen lyrics and I still do melodies to beats and all these things. All right, back in the day when I was younger and I was trying to like really pursue this music, which is in the reggae dancehall circle, I was trying to pursue that music thing. I had my own run-ins with this whole studio thing. See, I'm gonna get into that. Natasha Powell says the beating with the board was real, but the tears weren't. All right, we're not talking about that yet. Listen to my experience first. So, if you know about music, you know, say your music has to be recorded properly. Then it has to be mixed and mastered properly before it can hit airwaves or before it can be played out in certain settings. You know, the thing have to sound good, up to par. Can't sound like you recorded it in the bathroom or in the closet of your house unless you did it there with some top-notch equipment. See? When upon the little noise in the background, Kai Kai is up already. This live is supposed to start at 6 o'clock and this man wake up at 5:53. I know because I was looking at the computer when I heard him. 5:53. So I have him set up over there so with his juice and his tablet. But he'll make a little noise every now and then. But you know what I do already. My daddy thing always on it. Plus this. So anyway, one of the hardest things for me to do was to find a proper composer slash engineer slash all this. Some people they only know how to like take other people beats that were made already. They don't play no instruments. They don't, but they know how to work the boards in the recording studio, the mixing and mastering, the technical side of the music. But them don't know what to do. Like if you come up with an original song, like you're hearing the melodies in your brain, you come up with this original song. It's very hard to find someone who's talented enough to say, go in there, go in the voice box, go in the booth, Just sing it how you sing it in your mind. Sing it out like that. And as you're doing that, they're able to start go on the keyboards, play out keys, and start rapping music around your vocals and come up with a completely original composition. See, very hard to find these kind of people. And I searched around for a long time because I've been into music like officially out there where other professional big names recorded. Miami, I grew up in. So there was a big studio in Miami at the time. I used to frequent that studio from my little youth. Used to hang out outside, ride my bicycle around the people in the studio till I started going into the studio. So I've been around there since like 14, 15, them age there. Eventually, this wasn't in Miami. I won't say the place. I won't say the description of the person. I won't do none of that. That's my story. Eventually, I got sent by somebody, referred to somebody else, and I found a maestro. This maestro was able to do everything when it comes to music. The man can pull down the whole studio flat and put it back together. And he plays multiple instruments. So that day when I got to record with him, actually, everything went well the first session. Second session was at a private location. All right, me go. See? Now, I've always heard these stories about people in the studio and things that happen in there. I'm a young youth at the time. And when we did young, we did maga, you know. I was always tall, but me did maga bad. I'm talking about 127 pounds and almost 6 feet tall, like real maga. So, me not in there to fight off no big muscle man and these things, but I always kept it conscious in my mind. Like, if I see anything funny in here, if I see no line of coke and nobody has snort nothing, if I see anybody shooting needles, if I see any weird vibes, any sexual thing, me a cut. So I'm always in there, paro. Anyway, me and this man get in the studio, right? And he starts to play music. He's playing through some beats and stuff, and him fix up things, and him bring out a bottle of wine. Bring out the bottle of wine and him start drink. Him say you have to set the vibe. You have to set the tone, right, when you're going to record a song. So he sets the vibe. Turn lights down low, light up 2 candles in a corner. The whole time in my mind, you know, the only thing me know, when me I set vibe like that, it must be like a man I set a romantic vibe for a woman. But me I say, all right, maybe this is a part of the game I need to learn. Kai, no. That is a part of the game I need to learn. So I'm in there, hold my composure and everything still. Music starts to play, I record. I go in the booth, I do my thing, I come out the booth. I always catch the man, I look for me kind of funny, right? But I'm telling my young self that he's looking at me like that because he's probably like, and he used to say it, he used to be like, yo, you're talented enough. You come up with them melodies and stuff here. Me like it. You're talented. Me can carry go far. And start selling me the dream. And can carry me go far. And can do all these kind of things. All right, I'm riding along. My ego I get boost up. You know, you're young and this is your dream for yourself. And you're like, I'm this young and it's coming through. I'm with this big name producer in a studio. The man know how to do everything I've ever dreamt of. Working with somebody that's able to do. We in our studio session. It was a night session. And this brother, doing the same thing with the wine and set the tone and all these things. Me realized one time, I drink off like the whole bottle of wine. He's getting tipsy. He's past tipsy now. Him look like him drunk. You know when you get drunk and you start like knock over stuff? For those of you who drink, some of them are virgin to drinking. You don't drink at all. You don't know what I'm talking about if me say drunk. The man start knock over things, right? So me I say he's getting sloppy. But this is me still being keen and aware of my surroundings and thing because I've been told stories. So the whole like Macka Diamond and Tanya Stevens and some more people have come out. Them story real. Them people here in our studio are some different people when that time come. You're in an isolated area, dark if they want it for dark in there. Who can come in, who can't come in, like it's a well secured and isolated space, especially if it's with a big name producer. Anybody can't just walk in our session. Well guarded in there. The man gets sloppy drunk. See? As he gets sloppy drunk in there, he's trying to act like he's not. And then I realize the feminine side of him start to come out. Right? Him start look for me more brazen now. Like how a man would look at a girl, like if him I try give her a you or I'm interested in that try pick you up or something. How man relate to woman, me start get that look there from him, and I felt the vibe, I feel the vibes. So I'm like, is this for real? Cause the brother I never seemed like that. This is somebody where, again, like she said, very well respected, him having family and everything. See? Me say, maybe I'm seeing things, but me not drink or smoke nothing. So me straight. Me know me not, I'm doubting what I'm seeing, but I'm seeing what I'm seeing. Seeing? So me say to myself, say, I can't that. I can't maybe because of my drink, him just, when you're drunk and you get so I'm thinking he's gonna call the studio session and thing. No. Him start get up and dance. So I put on some other kind of music, some beats, and he must say, me have some new beats, listen to them here and see if you like any of them. And put on a one beat and him start get up and dance. All right, get up and dance is cool. See? Him start dance like a girl dance. I say, okay, them look the plus a dance like a girl dance equals my time to go. But me they are inch closer and closer to the exit, to the door, like, we have to go wrap the session up and these kind of things. When you start wind up, and you start wind up over which part me there, and I start come closer to me for wind up, is exactly what happened. And me cut. I don't remember how I cut, but me know that me cut. It ended abruptly. Months after I saw him, and he asked me, him said, because he had that, when somebody do you something wrong, and then you don't see them for a while, but when you see them again, you could tell they still remember, but them are gone like them not remember. So on to the song where we did work on the other night, did you get to finish it? Can call me enough time after that, to come back and finish the song. I still have the song here. We can finish the song, get it mixed and mastered and stuff. Me say, yeah, man, me forward this weekend. Him said this weekend is open if you want to come in Sunday evening, blah blah blah. Sunday pass, me no go, but me tell him me are coming up. Next week, same thing. So I guess every time he called, he realized that I was giving him an excuse. Me see him out the road, buck him out the road now. Hear him. I asked him about the song. So me still have the song, if you want to come finish it, mix and master it and these kind of, and these kind of things. I'm gonna say, yeah man, I'll be there. Him say, yeah man, I saw you always say. I said, no man, you see me kind of busy right now because life, life have me going in all different directions. And people, there's nothing I wanted to do more than music. But you see, when you are aware of your surroundings, sometimes you have to pass some things up. And I made up my mind from I was very, very young. Nobody now climb on my back or ride me back front side or nowhere or make me push nothing in and nothing or do anything that have to do with anything against my morality and against who I am as a person. So I'm not grounds out for superstardom or for a bus or a one hit or anything like this. Me just tell myself after a while, I said, that's not the road that God has planned for you. You're not no artist, okay? Stick to your writing thing. And there are a lot of writers out there that are successful. They're even more successful than the artists. Because if you know how the recording industry goes and how budgeting goes and all this, the artist is the last person to get paid. The engineer them get paid, the songwriters get paid, management get paid, overhead costs get covered, all that. The artist last get paid. So everybody else have their money secured, except for the artist. See? So I knew that this ain't the road for me. And me no want to be no artist. If me have to lock up in a dark studio with man, a man start switch in there for me. For me, forget, because I found the person who could actually do everything. But look at what came with it. We're going to use that right now to segue into the Macka Diamond story. Let me take a sip of water. I don't know, I don't have no teacups. I'm drinking just water with lemon in it. Cut up some lemon and soak it in that water. That's it. You saying both have nothing on you. LOL. Denty D. May I tell you that the way I cut, I don't even remember how I cut. Real life story to God and my children. I don't know how I cut though. Me knows that I find myself up out of there. And I tell you what also, it was very impressive because them people here, they know what they do and they know who to look for. You're young and impressionable and you are seeking, when you're young and you're like, I'm going all in. I know I could achieve this by the time I'm 21 or by the time I'm 23. I'm gonna see all my goals materialize and everything. I just gotta make the right connections with the right people. So you go from recording in a somebody closet, one of them called that me used to do, recording it. One little Spanish youth used to have him thing, and I was cool with him because he used to come by, come around the area over there. And music is my thing, so go a film place. Him have it set up in a dark closet. You had to go in the closet, one little mic stand in there, and your music still come out, don't sound good. I started from that. Okay. When you get in the presence of these people and you go arrive at their facility and you see luxury cars park up outside, you know them name, you see how much people around, we say yes man and yes boss and big man and this and that. You say yes, you've arrived. When you step into a studio that is properly equipped and it's a multi-million-dollar studio, and this studio was for him, and him own it, and him build it, him put every piece in there, him know if pop it down and put it back together. I said, yeah, I've arrived. I'm actually in a multi-million-dollar studio with a top producer. Things didn't materialize like that. From the Catch the Funny Vibes, I don't wait to question it. I don't want to have no conversation about it with you. I don't want me and you, because that's gonna be an uncomfortable conversation. So the other day, when we did the song, you did me notice I finished the bottle of wine and thing. But then you start wine up yourself. You remember when you come over here and did I try wine up on me? And then you see all sudden me like, what? That would be uncomfortable as hell. Because what is he gonna say? Nah, sir, wine up on you. Brother, I about to money take man for and these things, So me don't want to have the conversation there, period. I know the vibe I felt, so me cut. Never went back around that person again, no matter how them did try, till they realize that I'm avoiding you. See? Let you go on with that in your conscience. I'm sure he knows what he did. But anyway, here we are. Be Cryptic says, Shamar Shamar Jackson, yeah, I agree. And he's doing when he was seeking out SouFLoTV, undercover nasty freaks. Oh, yeah, I'm telling you, they know what they're doing and they know who to try it on. Man, man listen now. Vicky Victory says, man, riding feet. Nobody not ride me feet, nothing. I'm big and strong, but me can't take them something like. My body was not designed. My wife body designed for them something them and me give ride. Nobody not riding me for nothing. See? So here what? The Macka Diamond story now. No found out, haven't seen it. You know what, Max Romy? I got that impression. Enough people probably do that too. And I started to think, even back then, I said to myself, imagine how much you would probably come through here and thought that they had arrived. And this is the person, And when people have links and you see some people talk to you and be like, yeah, man, I have some links, I can get. After, trust me, when you do it like I was doing it, because I was going hard for it, no pun intended. I was going hard for the music, see? So I talk about print up, flyer, pass out, go around, post that, this, that, everything. Going to events, meeting people, so on. So you know who is lying, like them can get you this and get you in touch with this person and present your stuff to that person. So when you actually meet one that's really real, it's kind of like, yeah, boom, this is it. But then if they have ulterior motives for you and them start stringing you in, dry you in, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. If you can't stand on your own and be like, yeah, not for me, bye, cut. Even if it means giving up on that dream, cut. See, and there are a lot of people who go through it. Take whatever them get, if you know what I mean. And the sad part is you might get a one song and then nobody hears about you again. Or worse part, you not even get a one song. You just got sold dreams. Like, I was going to make you famous and hook you up with this person. Yeah, man, you can. We have links to Bounty, so me and Bounty, I'm going to do a song for you. And you're like, yeah, I'm a big stars and I'm really arriving. Y'all be careful. So for those of you out there who are artists and you go into these spaces, remember. No, may I tell my story, Natasha? I don't know about them and allegedly. My story is not allegedly. My story is my story. For them story now. Yesterday when Macka Diamond put our video up, and I put the video on SouFLoTV. A part of her video, she said a couple of things that we're going to talk about. But the part of our video with the crying part, see, that part that a lot of people are saying, oh, it touched me, and then there are a lot of people that are saying, I lie, she tell, fake cry. I even see a comment right here that says her story was real. All right. How dare you, man? For the Macka Diamond story, how dare you? Let me clear up something first. I said yesterday while she was telling the story, because, you know, I was on the move, so I'm going to record it as in a way where she's talking, but I'm commenting as she's talking. So that's the style I used to put that video out yesterday. I wanted more people to hear her story. But when she had talked and she was giving certain kind of descriptions, I said stuff like, then an elephant man you talk, Macka? Because me I add up years, location, whose studio she used to go to. If you follow dancehall, you follow Macka Diamond, you follow everybody else in dancehall. It's not hard to trace back. So me go show elephant man name now. But then I said, you know, it probably can't be Ellie, can't be Ellie. Oh, two people did that. Beef with each other, big war and thing. Is a multi-million-dollar earner, top artist, blah blah blah. I said, I can't bounty share talk, but I must bounty our beanie. Some people took that thing out of context and said, SouFlo, why y'all put bounty name in on this and beanie name? Listen, chill out. Chill out, okay? I never said it was them. And nothing can happen to them by me saying. It's like a friend I tell you a story, but the friend I said, me not gonna tell you who you know, but the friend I give you a description. So of course, as you're listening to the story, you start calling name, don't? Johnny you talk? And she have to say, no man, I'm not Johnny. I'm sure if Macka was talking directly to me one-on-one, she would have said, no man, I'm not him. But me would have said, but in the description where you give sound like him kind of thing. She would have said, no, it's not him. But that's all that was, okay? I'm not saying who is what because I don't know. She didn't say who it was either. She said she can't say who it is. She said she might even have to get a bodyguard after this. She said their management paid her some money to be quiet and don't press the charges back then when it happened. And she took the money and she didn't press the charges because of the level of respect she had and the relationship she had with the management of that particular artist. So she also said, then there are people, we have them people where we do things to her and she knows this. So for the people who are saying, I lie she tell, if she'd have tell truth, she would have called name. Or for the people who are saying a fake cry, she a fake cry. I would say to you, like, how dare you? How dare you? You know, we do the story them, but we don't get a chance to discuss them. But you want some people calling in this morning, you know, because sometimes we use these sessions as a venting session. Some people have been through these things and them just want to tell them story. And I don't mind you using my platform to tell your story. See? But how dare you? You know, one thing I've always said to myself, I approach these things as a parent because I now have two girls of my own. Not to say these things can't happen to boys, but it very much can happen to boys. But and it happened to enough male artists too. But when a female is speaking and I'm listening to the story, I always approach it as if my daughter was telling me this story, what's the first thing I would think? I definitely wouldn't think a fake cry, she a fake cry. Could you imagine me looking at Naked and going, fake cry, she a fake cry? Or could you imagine from my mouth after she tell me something like that she making this up? It wouldn't be the first thing. So for the people out there who don't know these people, it seems callous, especially the men. Man, I talk about, so why should take so long to come out and say it? Come on, man, we're grown people. We know this now. Enough people things happen to, and it's been years. Some people reach all up in them 70s and 60s and 50s and they haven't uttered a word of what really happened to them. And they're still battling with it. So because they take 20 years and 10 years and 30 years to come out and say what happened to them, does not mean that it did not happen. See? And I'm gonna tell you what y'all do, what you guys are doing when you do this. You're creating a hostile environment for people who have actually been through this thing. Because some people go through it and then want to come out and say something, but they're gauging the temperature of the environment. So when people start, when they see one person come out and say something, and then them read a million comments or say, no, it's a boss y'all look. I like she telling her, watch your fake tears them. She lying, she forget to ask her, what a good acting. She not crying for real and these kind of things. It makes others who have a story to tell that is very real be like just fade into the background. Like, yo, me not say nothing, because you see how them do Macka when she come out and tell Fiar like a story. You see how them do Tanya when she tell Fiar story. You see how them do my girl let. So I'm not saying nothing. And people just hold it. So if you really want, and it's a part of the healing process, they won't start to heal until they're at least able to let that go. And a big part of letting that go is being able to just say it out. Some of them can't even say it out in private, much less we go say it out in front of a whole heap of people. And it's a part of their healing process, believe it or not. See, in order to heal from certain trauma, you have to be able to relive that trauma at least a couple of times. I've been through therapy sessions, relive that trauma, speak through it, and it's just like everything else in life. Time passes by and you get more desensitized to the situation, and you're able to now put it out on the table, spread it out, and look at different angles of it and all this. Whereas when it's fresh in your mind and it's never been resolved, it's constantly like it just happened. It just happened. It just happened. You know what I'm saying? That's what PTSD is. Post-traumatic stress disorder is it's a traumatic event that is constantly on replay in a victim's mind. That's what it is. And enough people are suffer from it. So why want to make people so uncomfortable to come out and tell them story? If she lying, that's on her. If any victim is, or any alleged victim, or any person who perceives themselves to be a victim is lying, that's on them. But it's not your place as the listening, viewing audience that the first thing come out of your mouth is a lie she tell. And when I ask some people, okay, you think she lying? I don't think it's my place to say if she lying or not. Explain to me why you think she's lying. They don't answer because they can't answer. See? So make it that you're not one of those people. Polygirl, big up yourself. Polygirl says that people deal with their trauma as they see it fit. Yeah, some people just not ready to process it when it happened to them. And it takes years before they can even confront it again. So they tell themselves, say, yo, I'm going to just stick that in the back of my mind. But it keeps replaying, but they keep shoving it to the back of their mind, shove and go on with life the best way they can. Some people are stronger in that sense. Not that you're weak when you can't, but some are stronger in the sense that they're ready to face it up front, expose a who. I don't care if no one do me nothing. I don't care if you're going to hurt me or nothing. I'm telling everybody something like that. Some people are like that, and then there are a great number of people who are not like that, especially if your life is in jeopardy behind it. If it's somebody powerful, if it's somebody that can make you go missing or make bad things happen to you on purpose, like that, it's hard to come out and say a name. Just like how we say to the people in Jamaica, right? Oh, the gunman them in the neighborhood, y'all need to start tell police who and all these things. How? You don't live in that neighborhood? That's why I tell people so enough and look on things like look at it from all angles. Always put your feet in other people's shoes. Not literally, but always put your feet in other people's shoes. You know what I mean? Be more, what's the word I should say? Be more empathetic, maybe. Be more understanding. Be more open-minded without all your judgment, because it's not your situation, it's not your story. You know, I met the people them say what them have to say. Empathy, yes. Be more empathetic. Let them tell their story. Shayona Stanley says, as a person who dealt with many abuse growing up, even molested by my uncle who was a pastor, I have been trying to make a documentary for years, but I have to relive the moment every time. See that? Yes. And they will continue to relive. And you, my dear, what can I say? Sorry that that had to be your childhood experience and all these things. Uh, but like you just said, and you won't, Shayona, you won't be able to go past that until you're able to get it out. That documentary you're making, me want to see it, because that's a part of your healing process, and I can probably learn from it. So when if you need me to do any part of it, be any part of it, promo it, anything, reach out, because I want to. In this area, there are a lot of people that need healing. Trust me. See, trust me. When we talk about the culture of predators, hold on tech and all these kind of something, manipulate and it's true. It's very real. So I don't know why people act like it's not real, or maybe because it didn't happen to them. The sad part is actually watching women go against a woman when that woman is giving that account. I could see the callousness of a man simply because this. Let's be realistic. We live in a real world. Enough women out there have ill intentions. Like, they already know that this person is famous. They already know that this person has money. They already know that. So they're like, I'm either going to walk away with a bus, meaning I'm either going to get famous out of this because this person is going to mix, master, produce my music properly, put me in touch with the right people. Or if it don't go that way there, me either go breed for that person here, I have one baby with them, have to pay for that baby money alone will finance my lifestyle. Or I'm gonna go in there and call rape, and them have to go settle this behind the scenes if they don't want to take it to court. So people have ill intentions all around. There are a lot of women that have done that, which makes it bad for the women who actually have to go through it and then can't tell their story because they know that these group of women exist that already made it bad for them. See? So with that said, Carla Samuel says, I think my grandmother was raped by my grandfather when she was 12, and that's how she got married to him, because her mom gave her up to work for them. She never talked about it, and we would see her cry all the time. That's something that happened. I was reading another person's story yesterday, and she said she finally realizing that her mom had her at 14, and the person that her mom had her at 14, and her dad was 40, 14 to 40. She never thought about it. She only always thought as she was growing up that her dad's older, much older than her mom, but it's her parents. See? But she never thought about it. And now she said to be the person, the product of that, it kind of sits weird in her mind. She sits in a weird position. Because she want to look on her father and say, you big pedophile, and look what you did to my mom, right? But I'm the product of that. And he stuck around to raise her, and he stuck around to raise her, and she, the mom, never called her it. So times were different than they are now. That story you just tell right there is very real. Very real. Shona Stanley says people are saying she took a bribe. Y'all got to understand that she was young and she didn't know what to do at such a young age. You have to kind of put your foot in her shoes, which is what I'm trying to get some people to do. Some of you are very empathetic. Some of you understand the situation. Some of you have been through it. You've been through it. So you know. But there are others who they're far out from it. It's like trying to tell somebody about ghetto life when all they've known their whole life is silver spoon in their mouth or gold spoon in their mouth, or they've never been hungry, they've never had to go without, they've never felt unsecured in an environment they live in, but you're trying to explain it to them and they're passing their judgment on it. When you're born into that, is very different from born into something else and you don't have a choice, kind of thing. So I'm trying to get people to understand that also and put their foot in their shoes. First World 876, big up yourself. First World 876 says that's a heavy burden to carry. Yeah. Well, Tanya, she did go back around who did that to her, so I guess it's true. Sometimes the women go back around them. They do. And they go back around them because of what? There are things there that they need. And that's why I opened with my own story, to show you something. I've never doubted myself since I was young. I'm a bright boy from school, see? So I was always like the head student, lead student, or I always used to come second behind the next youth named Kevin Swaby. Which part Kevin is in the world today? Big up yourself. I know where he's at, and he's very successful. See? So I never doubted myself. So I thought anything that I choose, if it don't work out, I can choose something else. So I had like 5 things in mind that I was going to work towards, and one must reach. One must be successful. Like my granny said, because of them raised me, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. So my eggs them was never in one basket. But some people at a young age, their eggs are all in one basket. And that's why I'm explaining my situation to you. What if I was the type of person to say, I'm willing to do anything to get this dream, this vision to materialize? I would have subjected myself to things that I probably would be ashamed to talk about, and me have to hide and keep it under secret. And my back part upon me while I'm driving my brand new Mercedes Benz, and people are calling me out the road. Yeah, yeah, big star, boy. And I wasn't into that. So, like you said, she went back around, maybe because she was coming out of desperate situations and she look for better. Some females tell themselves that, hey, my homegirls be giving it up for free anyways. So if I'm gonna give it up, might as well give it up to somebody who can help me. Give it up to somebody who could further me in the direction I'm trying to go. This is a real conversation we're having, right? So they go back around. They go back around, and the person who hold them down and take it the first time feel like, oh, I've conquered, because now you're actually coming for it. Why else would you come back around? So it happens again and again and again. They still just subject themselves to it. There's a story that a lady told on SouFLoTV. I don't know if y'all remember her. The same one that did the story about her father and brother, and older brother, that story there. In that story, there was a point that was very awakening when she said, at one point, me just lay down and make him do what he want to do. And him start do it all the time, so it become regular something. Imagine being in that situation. You know what I mean? She felt powerless. She said she went to the people who she thought were there to protect her, and they told her, particularly her mom told her, she was lying. She said her world was shattered when the very one person who she thought would never tell her she's lying told her she was lying. She said after that she didn't know who to go to. So, and growing up in them times, she just hold it. It happens. It happens. Most girls' hormones kicking like horse at 15. Real trouble them. Boy, you see, them kind of comment, they like Max Romy comment. Me not indulge in them talk, the fam. Most girls' hormones kicking like horse at 14 or 15. Real trouble them. Me not join them conversation there. No. Brother, replay what you just said to yourself. Cause sometimes we type something. I know you're out there typing from your phone. Very few of you are on a laptop right now, or you're like this. But sometimes we type some stuff like spur of the moment thing because you just thought it. But I want you to really think about what you just said. Max Romy, really think about what you just said just now. Let me run back your comment again. Him said, some girls' hormones kicking like horse at 15. See? And that him say, right? Real trouble them. Think about what you just said. We're talking about people becoming victims or being victimized. You can't place blame on 15-year-old, 14-year-old. If a 14 or 15 or 16-year-old female is inclined to think like that, and she'll push up herself as a big man, because don't act like it don't happen, it does. Because some of them gear bad and gone bad already. But you got to understand as an adult, say, something wrong. Something went wrong somewhere already. That's why she is like that on that part. She need help. She don't need more pindong and tech, and she don't need more drug and bunks and all this. She need help. You see me? So boy, I don't know. Any 15, 14, 16-year-old you see I go on a certain way, just know say things have happened. They don't just arrive there like that. Cause 14, 15 and them age there is not that's not the focus at the forefront of your mind. Bubbles are cryptic. They think that she was being rebellious, but she need therapy and other families in denial, sad, and money and resources are available. Adults have the responsibility to walk away. Correct. And there are those that don't. There are those that prey on those particular one. I remember a youth are telling story. The youth is gay, and the youth is telling the story. And when they ask them, they've done a study that says majority of them that was their first experience. So maybe that's what it is. That's the conversation to be had. Is it your first experience made you like that versus you were born like that? Some people say me born like this. Some people say I like someone to make me end up over here. So not too really in it, but me I gonna leave it one day and they don't, and then some do. And the dynamics of this whole thing. But I remember this brother telling this story, and he said yes, that was his first experience, and up to this day he still wonders had that not happened to him if he would have, because he went through all the struggle of why God made this happen to me. Like this is so shameful, a girl, and he said it. He said a girl like her body is built to take that. Even though she's, but as a youth and in Jamaica and all these things, like this is so shameful and whatever. Then he said he got to the place where he started thinking like, this is you, like this is you. That is why that happened to you. The person who did it to me saw that in me. And I want to tell you something. Predators do that. They do seek out like the one, say for instance, the one them big tough man them will go after boy. Them look and say, him have him have a little, like a feminine thing that to him still, And they do. And that's what the youth was trying to decipher. He was trying to work it out in his mind. Like how? Why? Well, maybe I did me attract him to me because, me probably did steer stuff from me born. So this is me. Max Roman says, talking the truth is happens. People don't pretend. Temptation is real. Yeah, man, it happened, but you have to watch the way you word certain things, fam. You have to watch the way your comment was kind of callous. And like I said before, I can understand a man comment being callous. Because one thing I know for sure is no man knows what it's like to go from being a little girl into teenagehood, into womanhood. No man. None. Them can read book, them can study science and biology and physiology, them can do everything, but they don't know. No. Just like no woman knows what it's like to go from being a little boy to into teenagehood, into adulthood, manhood. See? So when the woman them talk, I don't have no much of anything to say. Cause I can't tell her woman things. I'm a man. So I have to listen from the woman's perspective. See? Yeah, they do look for vulnerable people. That's what predators do. That's what predators do. But on the Macka Diamond thing, man, I tell you, sometimes some stuff hit you that you try to relive it and tears just bust out. I tell you the truth. Uh, I remember when I came back from Iraq, after experiencing certain things. See, Even though as soon as I mention it, like I could feel like I'm about to go there. So I try to make myself go there. But I use it as an example to say this. I would be fine. I would be fine all the time until I realized that if I met anybody else that was there on that same mission, it just came out. Like, just start crying. Just meet the person and just start ball. And me not talk about no regular balling, I'm talking about cow balling. Or if certain things were said. Or say I went to the VA to go do a checkup and then I went to go see somebody and the person I went to go see to talk to, the counselor, whatever, they're like wanting you to dig back or them ask you a question that relates to that situation. And before you could open your mouth to start telling that part of the story, it just takes you over. I've lived it, so I know it's real. So I'm not gonna sit there and say the woman did a fake cry. She's not looking a bust for sure, because everybody knows who Macka Diamond is. She might not drive Rolls Royce and Bentleys, and she might not live in a big 20-room mansion on a hill, and that's what today's society equals to boss or who is famous. Triggers, Marie Johnson, and you have to learn to recognize your triggers. One time I had to drive around with a bottle of alcohol, like the isopropyl rubbing alcohol, and that was one of the techniques and the methods. And if anything triggered me in public, I would like open it and burn my nose with it, and it would take my mind off of like you know. So, and it's something they used to teach us in Jamaica too. Like if your belly are hurt, to stand up on your own toe, and them kind of something that cause and stand up on your toe hard. Your mind is gonna go focus on the toe being squished instead of focusing on your belly hurting. I got that lesson as a youth in a Jamaica. So to have it now as an adult, where you have the smelling salt and this alcohol stuff that you alcohol pads and whatever, where you have to really use before you bust out a cry in front of people. I understand that part of the brain that works like that. See? So I can't look on the woman and tell her, say she a lie. Who are you to say Macka not important at Michael? Take a seat. You see, Shiona, you see what I'm saying? People are like, oh, she not important, she don't know nobody. And like, who are you? Like, yeah, really. Who are you? Who are you? Check this out. We know who Macka Diamond is. We don't know who you is. That alone should answer your question. We know who she is. We don't know who you are. We know who she is. We know what she does, and her history is pretty much in front of us. So when you and it's always people who are really like, and I don't like to call anybody a nobody because nobody is a nobody, and everybody is somebody to somebody. Like I might call you a nobody. I'm sure your kids don't think you're a nobody. I'm sure if you have kids, I'm sure your spouse don't think you're a nobody. I'm sure your parents don't think you're a nobody. But these are the comments. Bring the comments, man. Keep them coming. I'm not running you all away from the platform this morning. Coming one to comment them so people can see them. And for those of you who haven't seen the comments I'm talking about, go look at the video that I posted yesterday with Macka Diamond telling her story. Just go through the comment section. Some of the comments them are triggering as hell. Some of them just make you. It made me not want to go through the comment section. I'm gonna like go through the comment section and try answer as many people as possible, just to show appreciation. Like, hey, you took the time to watch the video and leave a comment on my channel. I'm taking the time to say thank you for stopping by. Yo, I'm rate you. Like a comment there. Thank you for actually taking the time to put forth such a well thought out and well put together comment. No profanity not in there or anything. You stated facts. You hit the nail on the head with this one. Thanks for being a part of this platform. Me like answer back people. But on that comment section, it's like, let me go through and answer as many as I can real quick and come outside. And I don't even want to go back in there. Because of the amount of those kind of comments. She a look a boss. She don't know nobody. She a look a boss. Macka Diamond boss. She been boss. But like I said, the world today changed bus into, you know, things people got more materialistic and all that. Professor Nuts is my blood family. See? Professor Nuts. So I was proud when she was calling out names and she was like, people that helped her out. And there are men out there that don't do that, that are in the industry. And she called out like Don Mafia. And if you listen to the video, you hear me say, yes, big up Dan Mafia, because Dan Mafia presents himself as a stand-up guy. And I've also always heard good things about him. So when she said that, he was one of them that actually defend her against a certain person and back her up, and and she called out names like Professor Nuts. I'm like, yes, nobody never say Nuts a rapist or Nuts a pedophile or Nuts a nothing. That's my blood family. That's not no distant family. I don't know who he is, kind of thing. Seeing? And I remember when he was coming through and in my ride one little Honda 50 by ying ying before me know the word yang yang. And for us back then, a bus him did bus. And in my ride one little yang yang from town to country. Cause nobody else couldn't afford the little yang yang. So it was something big. But the world has gotten more materialistic. Money changes hands faster. People are able to get more quicker. There are more ways to get it now. So bus nowadays must mean say you fly out on a regular, you do big shows overseas, you're attached to big names. If you're not with DJ Khaled winding up in a video or something, you're not boss yet. If you haven't hit US Billboard or Beyonce didn't do a song with you, you're not boss yet. These kind of things. So we're now starting to equate bus with something totally different than what bus was to us, and still is. But Macka Diamond is a household name in her own country, whether you want to admit it or not. She is. Go to Jamaica and say, Macka Diamond, who may I talk about? Just do it to any random person and you will see. Oh, Macka the artist, Macka Diamond, anybody. All granny will go to church and not listen to them music, they know more. Will tell you. So don't underrate people and become demeaning and try to, and these are the things why. They're like, you know what? Is a bigger artist than me, do it to me. If me call him name, first of all, people are gonna say, move and go as a bust your look because the person is up there like that and these things. You're a part of the problem, creating that environment that is hostile towards victims. You're a part of the problem. Don't be a part of the problem. Yeah, she is a great artist. Remember before Macka even came out with this story? Now me did the morning thoughts. I talked about our big man versus young girl. Mr. Macka have a song out there, see? Because the morning I was talking about older men, and they must understand that when these young ladies, we weren't talking about no molestation. The conversation was older men. And you must understand, so when these young ladies get attached to you, you can't be 54 and she at 23 and you really think that she loves you to death and there's a future and longevity there for you. It's not highly unlikely. It's highly unlikely. That was the conversation we were having. And then we start talking about the woman then. Because I said most women, they leave their nasty comments on social media when they see like an older man with a younger girl. Boops, she boops him out. Remember that word there, boops? Say boops there. Or they'll leave comments like, he a sugar daddy, she using him, all that. But them same older women, when they see the roles reversed, some cougar 50 years old with a 23-year-old, 24-year-old boy, them a talk about live your life, yeah, mama. Live your life. You have one life to live. Go, girl. And at least she can still get a man that's that young and this and that. Like them uplift that, but them sing come on for being in the same position. At the end of the day, it's all consenting adults. So if she at 23 and she wants a 54-year-old man because he can provide all the things she's looking for, then that's just what it is. That's how life go. See? Burn him. Well, I feel, and him must know. Because if he's not listening to people like me, then him take him bun and go on. Some man no mind take the bun. Because life short. And him say, boy, me take the bun, me take she and the other man she have. She can't go have her man then. As long as when me ready for my little enjoyment, me can get it. And them run that same way. It's real. Yeah, the double standards militant one. So look at it the same way. On IG, me know I big up the site right now that I follow. And it's for older, more mature people. And if you see how the woman them going over there, all they tell, I was wondering to myself the other day, why did I start following this? They have some interesting posts. They show people that are older, like a woman with a dance, and she's like, the caption says 80 where? and she does dancehall dancing. And this woman don't look nowhere near 80. She don't even look 60. She look like she's about late 40s, early 50s, but she's really 80. So that's what drew me to the side. I said, these people are aging well and they're showing off. Me like to look on other people's life and kind of pattern my own. Okay, don't do too much of this. Don't do too much of that. Consume more of this. She said she drink a whole heap of water, flush out toxins, include your, early in the morning with some lime in your water, remove mucus from body. That's what I learned from people. And I thought that's what I was following the site for until me say a beer a day. Oh, let me tell you a story about this one young boy I had. And I'm gonna say, yo, I don't want to hear them story. Everybody over here is glorifying it. It's just a congregation of women that glorify sleeping with younger men. But them are the same woman. But yeah, that's how the Macka Diamond song they drop in. And I said, our song Outer Road right now, big man versus young girl. That song the bad. It's bad. And the way she is promoting it, the song have teeth. It can go far. Because she has like the younger girls and then she has like older women who are showing say, yo, we can do all them things that plus more because we're older and more mature and we skill with it and we know. And then you have young girl over here, so so you would think, big man, you can't do this no more and that. And I like the concept of it. Kind of like when, was it Pampote? A Pampote and who? Spice? They do, Slim girl, I bet you can't do this. I'm a real dancehall fan, trust me. Fluffy girl, I bet you can't do this. And them the past stage and do them thing. Yeah. And it gave us something new. If we said to the girl, them were thick or extra thick. Have a bit extra going on. We start calling them fluffy. It came from that. Only thing fluffy just came out of nowhere. It came from that. So dancehall history, me again, along with reality. And it's all intertwined. See it? Real talk. Queen Rocks Radio, big up yourself. Real talk. So yeah, man. Don't be one of them people that create that hostile environment. Allow people to come out. Remember, I also told you before, transparency. I promote transparency. I want to see you just as you are. Don't do no fake up, no makeup for me, nothing. Be you when you come around me. So me know if me want to indulge or if I want to cut. At least, and please apply this to your real life. Okay? Just be yourself. Just be yourself. Who is to stay is going to stay. And the beauty about them staying is they will like you for you. But when you make up something who you're not, and then people like you for that, you're going to have to continue to do that over and over. That is unhappy as hell. So I want to say, everybody, transparency, please. You're gay, you're straight, you're bend, you're lean, you're 8, you're 7, you're 9. All of that. All good with me. I don't have a problem. Show me the light so I know where to go. That's it. Enough DJ and Macka days. Lady Mackerel, Patra. And she actually said her and Patra was the two girls that used to go to that studio. Here one now. Patra now telling a story, but go and look up. Like I said, I'm a dancehall fanatic. Patra have the same story to tell. Cause it happened to she too. But I'm talking about the word. The whole 9. So enough of them go through it. Shamar Jackson says, can you guarantee you soon she gonna have a hit? She always come with her hits and then she cool out back. She ain't no one hit wonder. Facts, Shamar. Come on, man. Macka been around for a while. And she is consistent. She never drop off. She never drop off. To go to fame at the height of big boss, everybody calls your name now. That's one thing. As we all see, that simmers out for most artists, male or female. It's, can you maintain it? Can you have a generation grow with you? So your Macka just turned 50, Bounty is 49, Beanie Man is 48, them kind of age, the Elephant Man is 46. I'm reeling these names off to say that these people, and Macka is one of them, they've been able to hold it for a long time and have people grow with them, right? And that's where your true stardom is. One hit wonder, she's not. But just don't want to hear no this the lady in any way because she come tell our story. She tell our story. On the part that she is not calling a name, I completely understand why. One time gone, me would have said, Chuck, you're not helping nobody, because if you really wanted to be helped, you would say the name, because then you would expose that person and it would probably stop that person from doing it to somebody else. Yeah. But then you look at the price of losing your life, and you got to back up and be like, man, I wish I could, because I know this person is a predator, but this person also can make me go missing. And I'm trying to live. I'm not trying to die. You know, you put your neck on a block for people, they don't appreciate you. You stand out in the front and everybody run left you, and you alone out there facing all the shots. So at some point you have to weigh up what you really can come out and say versus what you can't say, and these kind of things. So Ellie London, proper thing. Let's put it together like this. To all the victims out there suffering in silence, right? We stand by you. I stand by you. I understand why you suffer in silence. I understand all the dynamics of why some people can't talk. I understand all the dynamics of why some people are planning on talking, but they might talk later. Some people are waiting for them perpetrator to dead or get sick or something, or life to turn a tide or something. Some people, because they know that's his hell on powder house next once they open their mouth and open that can of worms. It's not me and you that are tantalized by the story, because what are we really going to do? All we are doing, for some people, it's like excitement. It's like, yo, you hear Macka? Yo, Mr. Shadila, ball, I would think a fake tears to, come watch a video. That's what it is for a lot of people. When for her, it's like a dagger in her heart again. And she's like, oh, I gotta tell this freaking story. All right, let me get it out. And she can't even get it all the way out. Look at the end of that video. When people abuse you, molest you, use you, discard of you, dash you like trash, and you still have to say big up to them and respect to them. And don't worry, because I don't want no police about this, and I don't want no trouble, and I didn't mention your name because, me I try to live my life. It's basically like saying, please don't send anybody after me. I didn't call your name, and I'm not going to call your name. And it's like a public announcement to the person who did it after she was done. That part kind of gripped me different, where she can't tell, but yet still she have to big up the person. I make them know, say, yo, it's all good. One thing I walked away with from that is, some people, when they do wrong to you and then like that in that situation, and then they make you live, so to speak, their eyes are still on you. Especially if they still hold power, their eyes are still on you. They're waiting to see if you're going to, especially in today's world, where a woman can easily say, Ray, and me too, jump behind it, and all your famous stop right there. Or you get famous now for something you really didn't want to be famous for. Your record is tarnished. Your years of work go down the drain. Your lifestyle are going to change because nobody is booking you to work with you anymore. These kind of things. So people will get rid of you. It's cheaper to get rid of you than to see my multi-million-dollar lifestyle go down the drain, because you want to come bring up some old story, because that's what it's going to be. Boy, I tell you, have a blessed day. Gotta go. We'll finish watching later. Shani C, big up yourself, and thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. All right, stay safe. 20 years hunger, man. Somebody say, I've been do it. Why she wait so long? The only people I see asking why she waits so long is men. Men. And if you're one of the men that are asking why she waits so long, please ask yourself that about 10 times in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself 10 times in the mirror, why she wait so long? Why she wait so long? You can't explain that. See? Enough of them parasites, yeah. We call themselves artists need to get what they deserve. I don't know why. Let me put your comment, Shamar Jackson, and then me block your comment, but I just hit show so you can see it. So sometimes when your comment comes down, YouTube just block it out, but I can see it, but the crowd can't see it. So I just unblocked it so they can see it. Queen Rocks Radio, thank you. Listen, you know what I love about this platform is the fact that when we do these stories, we actually get a chance to discuss them further. It's not like when you watch the news and it said 13 people were killed today on Harbor Street, and one was a woman, another was a child, and then blah. On to the next story, and then there's news at 7. Tune in again. See you then. Bye. Done. No, on this platform, we get to dive deeper and take life lessons out of this. You know what I'm saying? From real situations. Offer a word of comfort to victims, these kind of things. Create a platform where people can speak, whether they want to be heard and seen or not. But it's a venting process to it too. Like what she just said, Queen Rocks Radio. Queen Rocks Radio just said you cannot tell a victim when. You can't tell a victim when. Remember, everybody process stuff differently, friend. Some people take time. Some people would take a whole lifetime. Some people take it to their grave. That's to show you they never, and them live a long life and still took it to the grave. They never found the opportune time to let it out. Them just deal. Then if payment go on for drop case, why disclosure? Because it's her healing process. Because payment go on for drop case don't mean that she don't have the right to still go through the necessary whatever is required for her to heal. She was young. Then pay off a young person, a person who was below adult age. Then pay her off. She took the money at the time. And she was in a situation where, you know, it's frightening because these are powerful people who can actually do things to you. Bad man around the area. Them gunman friend them kind of something there. Being in that position, that young, and really not having anybody who you know is gonna go bust shot for you. You tell daddy and what? They're gonna kill your daddy, because your daddy gonna go over the Bex and try to fight off man, and gunman are gonna gun him down because he's not a gunman. Or a boxer is gonna thump out your daddy teeth because that daddy's not a boxer. And then still nothing wouldn't come out of it. You know, people know when they're secured. People know when they have people in their corner. Some people know so them have some people that will defend them and will die for them and will kill for them. So they come out and talk. Some people don't have that. Yes, I'm taking calls, Rochelle. I'm taking calls. Let me put the number up real quick. 1-806-587-8953 is the full number. Right, that's all. So yeah, Queen Rocks Radio is absolutely right. You can't tell people when to come out, when to tell them story. The healing process, the process is different. Some people process it and don't reach no healing. Them just process it and process it. And every time some of them try to process it, they meet roadblocks like this. Move on, go ahead. Lie, I tell. If you were telling the truth, you would have came out and said that a long time ago. You lying. That's why you talking years later. Listen, we don't want to hear that. That's old story. If it does anything, it makes the victim more ashamed. And we live in such a callous world today. And that's what I go on. Nobody don't really care about you like that, man. That's why my heart hurt when I lose people that's close to me. I was saying that the other day. I said nobody is ever gonna love me like that again, like my grandmother would love me. Nobody now gonna cry when them see me again and are real tears. When my grandmother see me, she cry every time she see me. If I fly down to Jamaica 3, 4 times for the year to see her, she cry like she haven't seen me in 10 years each time. And she says, tears of joy, baby. Just for see me grown up and me okay. Nobody not gonna love me like that again. Morning, you're live on the air with SouFLo.
Hi, good morning. This is Sherry. I'm calling from New York. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good, Sherry. How you doing?
Shelly with the L.
Shelly with the L? All
Yeah,
right.
Shelly.
All right.
This is my first time calling. I'm so excited. I just wanted to say real quick that I really appreciate how you're dealing with this with this information that just came out. Um, because a lot of people don't understand the the flip side of people not saying or outing certain people.
Right.
And as I wrote in the chat, it took me back to a case that happened a couple of years ago where a black man. I don't know if you heard about the case. It was a black man named Wasim Jean. He was shot in his apartment where the the police officer, which was a white woman, I forgot her name.
In Texas, I covered that story actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the witness, right, was shot in the mouth. I don't, you covered that as well because I didn't.
No, the follow up.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I did. I did.
Yeah, he was shot. So a lot of people is saying, well, why she didn't say anything, and I love how you covered that and say, listen, people get threatened, and it's not, it wouldn't just be them personally, but the simple fact that you brought up, well, if the woman go home and tell her father and the father come, then like a box him up or
Right.
kill him. I just and you're right. This is why victims do not come forward and say, because they know that as a whole, they don't have people that's gonna back them up. They don't feel safe, especially. And somebody even brought it up in the comments too. They said, well, a lot of times, especially if that person is well respected, like R. Kelly. I mean, a lot of people saw the tape.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when he peed on the girl, but because at that time he was very famous, oh, it's not him. It's not him. And they blame the victim.
Right. Right.
And now look what happened. A lot of it came out now that he had underage girls, that he was holding girls hostage.
Not only girls, guys, boys too.
Guys.
Yeah.
But let me say this real quick too. A lot of times, right? I don't know how to, because I don't want to dismiss what happened to men, but it just seems that when it comes to a woman, a lot of times, look, the men are more protected. Like the woman is not like outright believed at first,
Right.
and a lot of the people were saying, well, it's the parents that sold their kids to R. Kelly and blah 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 blah, and they were blaming the woman and blaming the parents. But as soon as they said that he was molesting boys, you kind of saw a shift, because for some reason, men are given, for the most part, the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The woman is not taken more serious. And like you pointed out, it's other women that does it too.
Yes. Facts.
So I mean, it's bigger. It's a lot, but thanks for having this conversation, and thanks for putting another perspective out there about how victims could be threatened and their families and stuff like that. And
A whole other dynamic to it.
right, and it's just we as people. we can't what's the word? We cannot really understand something unless if we're not going through it. You know, it's like somebody, we can't feel somebody else's pain. It's like you hit your toe, right? And you're coming, you're like, oh my God, Shaggy, my toe's hurting. And I'm like, oh, you know, I'm sorry, but I can't feel your pain.
Right.
I can empathize.
Right.
But you feel it more. And I think that's what happens with a lot of people. We don't feel it because that's not my toe.
Exactly. Exactly. Well said.
Thank you so much again.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you have a great day.
You too. Yeah, like she just said. I just don't want to be a part of the crowd that make the environment hostile for people who decide that, hey, I'm gonna speak. It's my turn to speak, or I choose now to speak. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that? Missy, somebody just left an idiot comment about some people. Let's understand something also. Grown people love doing this, like trolling. I don't know why. You're grown. Stop. You're live on the air with SouFlo. Say again.
I said good morning, SouFlo. This is Queen Rock.
Oh, Queen Rocks Radio.
Yes.
What's going on? I'm trying to get you on the speaker here, but I don't know what's up with that. But we'll work with the phone. It worked fine for the last caller.
And in case you're confused, Queen Rock TV, same person.
All right.
Right. Oh my God, my stomach hurting me. I'm feeling sick. Let me tell you something, SouFlo. A lot of these ignorant comments that I'm reading, mostly are coming from men. And what I want to say is this: if this was your daughter or your sister or your mother, would these comments be the same?
Exactly.
And these situations make me, now it have things I myself have never disclosed. But these situations, I'm only going to give a snippet of something. I'm not going to give a story, but I'm just going to say, I too am a victim, which I never talk about. My own family don't know. Through more than one circumstance. But I had to come in here because I have to say, as a victim, why we do not speak. Because I had a situation too with someone who was respected in my community, who was supposed to be helping young kids. Now, my own grandmother said to me when I told her that this man is coming at me sideways, she said she knew him her whole life. And why would he come at me? Now, this is my own family.
That's what your grandmother said.
Yes. So what I'm saying to you, and I have carried, I never told her the whole story, but from the time I opened my mouth to say, this man is coming at me wrong and I feel uncomfortable, before I can tell her the rest of the story, she cut me off. So you know what? I've never told anyone. Because if she could tell me that, it already let me know what the rest of society is going to say. This is a respected man that's supposed to be helping his community. And this is one of many stories. And I would like to speak to Shiona at some point if you could connect us together. But what I'm really coming here to say is, we carry trauma for years. And one day I hope to write a book. And let me tell you something. When you're speaking to a therapist encourages you to tell your story one way or the other,
right,
to get it out of your system. So it doesn't matter if I took money when I was 20 or 18, the trauma of that never go away. If somebody threatened my life and my family life, I have to keep quiet, but the pain and the trauma of that never goes away. So as years keep going by and you keep trying to hold it in, at some point you have to get it out. She took money not to mention who it was. That is what she took money for.
Right.
But she didn't take money to not disclose some story, to tell people who tried to get into the music industry like myself to be careful of these perverts out here.
Exactly.
Exactly. So I'm new in the music industry and I have come across producers that want to sleep with me. And I refuse. So I could have bust already probably, but I'm not willing to bust open my legs to bust. You see me?
Right.
So to all these men with these negative, derogatory comments, if this was your daughter or your mom or your aunt or someone close to you saying this, would you have that same energy? This is what I want to say. And this is why victims like me and Shiona and many others never come out. and we hold this in. And let me tell you something, holding this in, it is traumatizing in its own self. You know why? Because guess what? You could be sitting and watching a movie, and the movie could start off real nice, and it's romantic, whatever, and all of a sudden in the movie, a scene come on, and guess what? That traumatizes you over again. For the day, for the week, for the month. A man could say a simple sentence to you, oh, you like that, don't you? And that sentence set you off where you want to run a knife in him. So until you're a victim, you cannot tell a victim when and how they should be traumatized, and when they speak when they're able to, when they have the strength, and there's strength in numbers. So sometimes you don't want to tell a story, but when you hear somebody tell it, it makes you feel more easier that it didn't just happen to me.
Right.
You understand? Listening to other people's stories give me the strength to want to put out a book one day, which I never wanted to do, which my therapist advised me to do, to get it out of my system, because I'm carrying it. Carrying this weight for 30, 40, how much years? 40 plus years. So this is nothing easy what you all could sit down and be so judgmental about. Put yourself in people's position, and you see how you talk about the studio situation. Now you were strong enough to walk away. You was not only strong, you was in a position that you could have walked away.
Right.
There are people who have the strength, but the family poor, they have no food, and they're like, I have to bust because I have to take care of my family. My mother says she's owing rent.
Absolutely right.
In America, especially, there are so many young artists that went through this, not calling Omarion per se, but in this era. There's a lot of people that went through this with big producers because they wanted to get out the ghetto with their family. So when you all come in with it, and you know what triggered me the most in that comments? Somebody said about young girls when they're 15 and the hormones. This is so
right.
I don't want to curse I don't want to curse and disrespect your platform, but that comment is so crass and
disgusting. Just say it. It was disgusting. That yeah, and I didn't want to diss the brother. That's why I said, please just look over what you just said.
That let me know the mindset of a person, because if you as a grown man could say, let me tell you something, even if I'm 15 and I'm looking like 20, I didn't have no hormones bursting, but I'm just trying to give you a little thing.
Right.
Even if I had hormones bursting, which doesn't give a grown ass man the leeway to say, oh, she's 15, but she's walking this way, or she's talking this way. So that gives me the right that she's acting grown, but let her take grown treatment. You as the grown person in this scenario, and even if a 15-year-old is acting fresh, which a lot of us aren't,
right,
you have the right as the grown person to say, hey, slow down. You don't want to carry this kind of energy, it's going to get you in trouble. You're the person.
Absolutely.
You're the adult, so please miss me with the BS.
Absolutely.
Please miss me this morning. I lie down sofa for almost an hour listening, and I didn't want to comment because I know I was trying not to, because but I had a feeling where I just couldn't sit there and be quiet anymore. I had to jump in because this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It has so much other words to come to my mind, but I'm trying to keep it clean.
Right.
You understand? And I need to get one of them Bumbleclad t-shirts. This is anytime I don't want to say the word, and I go live myself on SouFLoTV and I have shit like this.
Just pull up the
my hand across the top of the t-shirt.
Aye.
We can't bother with this, we just can't bother with it.
Manners and respect, and thank you so much.
And please do a video soon when you do the accent. Like when you do my Trini accent, this time a week and the old granny accent.
Yeah.
You see, so big up to everybody and to all the victims. We've been holding strong, and we've been holding strong for a long time. And keep the faith, and somehow it will have a point for people. And the same thing with the Me Too. Once people start coming out, same thing with Bill Cosby and everybody else. People say, so why all these women wait so long? Because once or 2 and 3 and 5 come out, the rest felt stronger to come out. Do you understand it?
Empowering.
So please,
absolutely.
Right. So please, so bless up yourself, and thanks for your platform to help people like me come out of the bushes.
Blessings, and thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Love you.
I love you.
Pick up yourself.
All right, you too. I love, I just have a thing for the Trini accent. Big up the Trini family. Yeah. we're all Caribbean people, so it's big up the Caribbean family, anyways, regardless for me. But big up my Trinity family specifically. But she hit every nail on the head just now. And again, this is from a victim's perspective. I can't be judgmental. She's telling her truth. Morning, you're live on the air with SouFlo.
Blessings, my brother. Unstoppable.
So Hoxie, you went straight to speaker and everybody else couldn't. So Unstoppable, go on, big up yourself.
Blessings, my brother. All right, so I'm for catch. May I get an echo though? I don't know why.
Because you're up on some big speaker in here.
All right.
You might have to turn down the device that you're watching on.
No, I know that already, man. So I'm not play.
All right.
All right, but here we go on. See, I'm for catch your reasoning. A little short piece. When I really hear much of what other than what Queen Rock said a while ago. I'm based for your type. See? Now, brother, let me tell you something straight up. I cover them topic here a lot, as you might know, when it comes to females being abused and man taking what they're not supposed to take from woman and all of them things. And one of the common occurrences where we see happen in my family is that people always have a negative to say whenever the victim speak out. You understand what I say? And we need to stop that. Because at the end of the day, how me look on it SouFlo, if you don't have nothing good to say, just nobody say nothing.
Exactly.
Because you see, when a victim speaks out, it takes a lot off of the victim in a family.
Yeah.
It takes a lot.
Part of the healing process.
Especially when a person has been holding something in for a long time and then them finally build up enough courage to speak out and then get bashed. You know what that do to a victim family?
And what it does to the people who are look on, who say, boy, look how they treat she. Me not say nothing. Yeah. Facts.
You know, and then there are so many people. We wonder why so much people commit suicide, why so much people suffer from depression, and it's because of things like this. Because they don't have nobody to talk to.
Talk up now.
You understand?
Yeah.
And when them do build a little courage your ears, yo, why you talk now? Look how long that happened. Shut up now if you're not gonna call nobody name. You understand? When you also have to understand these people act as if they don't know about lawsuits. You understand? Yes, a person might be guilty, but unless you have proof to prove that I did this to you, I still can sue you.
Yes, and go to court and say you're telling a lie, defamation of character, all that. Yeah.
Exactly. So these people need to understand that the reason why a lot of these people don't call no names is because they have to protect themselves from getting a lawsuit. Unless you have enough evidence to say, you know what, I'm going to speak out and have me receive them to back this, so we can call SouFLo's name and say, yo, SouFlo do this, and then because SouFlo knows that me have my evidence, SouFlo now go try to fight it or contest it.
Correct.
You understand? But if I know I don't have no evidence and me come out and me say, boy, you know, say SouFlo do this to me 20 years ago, and I know 20 years later I don't have no evidence. You can then rise up and say, all right, you know, to make myself look good to the people, them, me I go sue her.
Yes.
You understand? Me I go say sorry. Me I say, all right, me I go sue him.
Yeah.
You understand? Because he might defame my name. You understand? So people need to understand how this thing works and stop bashing victims, because that is what is going to stop victims from speaking out. And then even if a victim decides, you know what, I am going to speak out and I'm going to call name, you know what then happens? The very same people them who are trying to inspire you to call name, and then same one I go bash you when them find out say somebody them like. You understand?
Yeah.
So if me and SouFlo have a beef going on, and you have your set of people them where you will rate you, and me have my set of people them where rate, and me come on now and say, yo, SouFlo this, me bear in mind, you know, let's just say me come out and we never say nothing before, and everybody say unstoppable, right? When I find out SouFlo this, you know what will happen? I'm going to then start getting bashed by your supporters.
True.
You understand what I say? When instead of them looking at what is going on and say, you know what, let me sympathize with the victim. Let me try and look at things from the victim's perspective. Let me try and see how this feels coming from a victim's angle, and then try to be there for the victim and try to say some inspiring words to the victim. Because listen, when somebody go through rape, brother, or abuse, there's not much me or you can say to that person to comfort them,
Nothing.
There's not much we can say to anybody. A woman will go through rape. We can't say not much to comfort them. You understand? But at least we can try. The last thing a victim wants is somebody we are going to come put them down and tell them, say, feed them fault what happened to them.
Facts.
You understand? Facts. And the last thing a victim wants is somebody come and say, here what? You better you never bother say nothing.
Absolutely.
No. People need to learn how to shut up if you don't have nothing good to say.
Right, that's all.
Just watch from the outside, stay from the outside looking in and nobody say nothing. Because
right, that's
sometimes you cause more damage when you actually do say something.
Right, that's all.
Right, that's all. That is how me see it, my brother.
Plain and clear.
You understand? I sit and I look at, and one thing I always in my family, I like to look in the comment sections at every video when I post, and even when I go on anybody else's channel or anywhere on social media, I like to read comments. And every time I read the comments, the amount of hate that I see in the comments for victims, brother, it's not a good look.
Facts. You did it?
Oh, good morning, SouFLo.
Oh man, I cut off Unstoppable. Good morning. You're live on the air. We're gonna take you since you're here, but all right, hold on. Let me finish up this one. All right, sorry about that. Continue.
Yeah, my brother, no problem. Right? There are so many other persons out there right now who would want to speak out. Let's look at Macka situation, for example. Right? She herself gained the courage to speak out because of Tanya Stevens' situation.
Right.
Now, mind you, a lot of persons may be saying Macka Diamond balling may be fake or staged. Me don't know that. You don't know that. You understand what I say? At the end of the day, people need to just shut up if they don't have no concrete evidence. You understand? So the person are fake. You understand? Because we never did when time Macka Diamond get beaten from whoever she said beat her.
Exactly.
You understand what I say?
Exactly.
We never did it. So we need to just leave people, let the people express themselves, and that has been an ongoing problem for years. That is why so many kids get abused in Jamaica, so many kids get raped, and nobody know about it all when they reach 50-year-old. Nobody know about it because they feel like they can't tell nobody. You understand what I say? And that is a serious problem in the family. Right now, there are children getting molested, and they can't tell nobody because they fear being chastised. They fear being ridiculed. They fear being blamed for what is happening to them, my family. Fathers are molest them daughter, uncles are molest them nieces. You understand what I say? And if everybody are going to blame the victim, who are going to protect them family?
Facts.
Those are the things me I look on.
Facts. You hit every nail upon the head this morning, brother.
You and I have been doing this thing, my brother. We run a similar program, right? And I'm sure you will get a lot of calls from victims where we go through things like I get a lot of calls.
Yes.
Right? From victims who fear some things, and some of the things them that I have heard SouFLo not even fitting for YouTube, brother.
Right.
Because of them guidelines,
Right.
Some horrible stories out there in our family.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And these people has been holding these things in for years. You understand what I say? And some of them glad for social media now with people like me and people like you and people like Tanya Stevens that's speaking out, so them can say, you know what? Let me use these platforms that's giving me the opportunity right now to speak. And though they might not be calling no names, it still take a little relief for them to know so them actually get it out.
Right.
Because some people need an outlet,
And for even get sympathy and sympathetic feedback from other people. Just to get, just for it. That's why the comment section is so important, brother, because we have to monitor that, right? And when you see these Callous comments, you can imagine now, we both do this, you can imagine now that victim reading the comment section, right? Right, and seeing these Callous comments. That's more damaging. That's just more damage on top of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Listen, you see, You see, sometimes if these people who speak out, and everybody can afford psychological help in a family, and everybody can go see a therapist. You know, some people have the money to do it.
Right.
So sometimes all a person needs is just somebody to listen to them when them speak and understand them. You understand? That is all some people need, right? So the people that we are talking about, yo, unless you go call name, shut up. Let me if you stop that, yo.
Facts.
Yes, it would be good. Don't get me wrong, you know. It would be good if them call name and make we know who. But then again, when we ask you a question, SouFlo, how much difference would that make?
Yeah, man.
Calling the name. You know, say it would make much of a difference.
Right.
I'll tell you why now.
All right, go ahead.
I'll tell you why now it never make much of a difference. Let's take a look at R. Kelly's situation. R. Kelly has been convicted. I don't know if you notice.
All right, hold on there. Before you go any further, you're the second person who bring that up, see? But from one content creator to another, don't even discuss and call the name no more. Because this platform that we are on and how we are linked into them, them are stifling thing now. Any mention of them just stifle the whole video.
I heard about that.
So I don't want to have a 1 hour and 30-minute conversation and because of 2 minutes of saying something that's the whole you know the whole video gets stifled.
I left the name out. I left the name out. All right. So that person was convicted, see? And what happened since the conviction? His sales gone up.
500%.
See? No, he didn't get blacklisted. Yes, people might cuss and carry on, some people, but you see, the true, genuine fans still are going to support him because they not care what him do. You understand? I was watching, I think it was Entertainment Report just a couple hours ago, a video where they're walking in the streets and asking Jamaicans if them find out, say, them favorite artist is a rapist, would they continue to support it? The majority of the people them say yes, of course they would still continue to support them artists. You understand what I say? So at the end of the day, these victims coming out and calling him, we would love to know it, but it not going to change. Not these same people who are ball out and I say call him, them same ones still are going to support the artist same way. And one thing we must say for sure is this: we living in a social media age where everybody loves sensationalism, right? So them want to know say two people are arguing with one another. So here we go on now. You see the same set of people who are ball out, say if you call them, they know why they want to know who. So that they can run go over to the next person Instagram page and go follow them and wait for that person to go live and address it.
Right.
You understand?
And then them caught up in the back and forth and they
exactly.
Yeah, you miss half of the video or something, man. Everything what you said, I said all that already. Like we would love her for not her, just her, but anybody who's coming up with their story. We would love for them to call names, and we understand the power in calling a name because it would put eyes on that person. Who knows if that person is still doing that and might be doing that to somebody right now that they could save. That's the importance of calling the name, right? But at the end of the day, most people, like you just said, them just want the entertainment factor out of it. However sick that is for entertainment, they just want the entertainment factor out of it. You're not going to do anything to help that person's situation. And the most important part now is that victim has to decide. Like, for instance, Macka Diamond would have to decide, because you already heard her say it. Like, me, I forgot get bodyguard, me don't know, or, you know, there are people who can, you know, do things to me and make me whatever. So her life is in jeopardy. So she has to think about her own survival. You know what I said? Beyond the fact that she was already done that way.
The thing about it, especially Jamaicans. You see, if you're the overseas, it's a difference. You understand? But let's take a look at the way our Jamaica system set up, right? When a victim speak out, you don't get much police protection, you know. You understand? And the worst if you come from a garrison community, you know, you go to the police, you not get much help. And then the complaint where you go make to the police, no go nowhere, and then the abuser, the raper come back here and come kill you.
Exactly.
You understand what I say?
Exactly.
So that's why most people just keep quiet. I'm going to tell you something, my brother. I had a young lady call me from my show one time and she said, Unstoppable, listen, I live in XYZ community in Jamaica. And you have what them call area leaders in my community. And I was raped by a man with them call an area leader, right? When I was a certain age. My mother was scared to report it to the police. So she did not do that. My aunt, however, this is what the young lady tell me, you know. My aunt, however, was upset about the situation because she did not live in my community. And she said she understand why her mother did not want to report it, you know. She said her aunt bring her at the station and report it, right? When she go at the station and report it, the police them ask her who are the person. When she tell the police them said there is nothing they can do about that. That's how the young lady coming and tell me in the family. See, the police then tell her there is nothing they can do about that. No, a victim like that, what you left her to do? If you who's supposed to be protecting her, tell her you can't do nothing about a man raping her because of who he is in the community. Now, mind you, the station is right in the community, you know, where she go, you know. You understand what I say? So obviously they know who this person is.
They won't even go pick him up for a questioning or anything like that. Them just make she know straight up say them can't. It's like that's a man who we can't really touch still, but them not gonna say it to her like that. They'll just say, or it's probably somebody who them in them pocket. You know how the place run already.
Yeah.
You understand? You know the thing go already. So yes, those kind of environments.
So it's a sad situation, my brother, but me I tell the people them right now, everybody were there, you know, if you not have nothing good to say, that's just my last speech to everybody. If you not have nothing good to say, just not bother say nothing at all. I'm gonna tell you something, SouFlo. Another thing about me, my brother. I don't cover certain topics, and the reason why I don't cover certain topics is because one, me gonna be honest about what me have to say. You understand?
Yeah.
I see because I know me gonna be honest about what me have to say. I rather don't say nothing, so I rather not touch the topic, none at all.
Yes.
Because me can't be biased. You understand what I say? I cannot be biased. If I do a video, I am going to give my genuine opinion about it.
Right.
So certain things, if I know me have a certain opinion that is not going to sit well with the majority of the crowd, and I know say me feel strongly about it, I rather to just stay out of it and leave it alone. And that is what I'm saying to most people here. You know, if you don't have nothing good to say about something, you just leave it alone and just stay up on the outskirts and just watch. You understand what I say? And you know, you will probably be helping that person who speak out. You understand? Because if your negativity, if a negativity come with it, it's not going to help the person. It's going to tear down the person
even more. Correct.
You know? So my brother, pick up yourself.
Well said, brother. Well said. Manners and respect, and thanks for calling in here.
Yeah, man.
All right. So that was Unstoppable, and as you all know, that's another huge YouTube platform. So remember when I talked about how we as Jamaican YouTubers, like sometimes we can cut away from the foolishness, and if we actually start like working with each other, there's power in what there is a lane we cut, you know. Is a lane we cut for ourselves and build these platforms with you guys, you know. This is like yours, you know. So there's so much good that can be done with that. I appreciate him calling in and being so eloquent at voicing. I know sometimes people call you and them sound like them a true hot rice and no one can really understand what they're saying. So I appreciate that greatly. Unstoppable. Miss P, big up yourself. Thank you so much. Miss P says we need more positive conversations with people like these. I feel so empowered. Love you guys. Manners and respect, Miss P. Good morning. You're live on the air with SouFlo.
And SouFlo is really great to be here. You know, I've been listening to your program and some of these comments that these men are making. And I'm going to ask the same question that Callous asked before. What if it was your child, your mother, your sister, or even your wife or your girlfriend? Would you not believe them?
And they would. That's the hypocrisy of it. That's the hypocrisy of it. And they would.
Yeah.
That mentality of if it's not mine, then I don't care.
Exactly. Let me tell you, was a victim. The story goes, I was spending some time with my aunt in Ontario, well-known family there. And her husband, I was in the shower, and he found some reason to come into the bathroom to do whatever he think he was gonna do. Those days, they used to have some mirror that is made from plaster Paris. When I realized what was going on, he pushed the shower curtain aside and grabbed at me. I jumped out because I was so soapy, I was all lathered up. And I grabbed the mirror and I gave it to him in his face because I couldn't fight this man off. And I'm saying to myself,
and this
if
is,
I don't do something to him, no one is gonna believe me.
And this was your aunt's husband?
That was my aunt's husband, my grandaunt actually. She was my dad's auntie. And I laid that mirror in his face. I ran out of the bathroom naked and I ran down to my neighbor's house. My neighbor, they had a very famous restaurant by the gate at the time. She was a nice restaurant there. And I ran up down there naked straight through the dining area into the kitchen. Because I was only 14 and scared.
Wow.
My aunt wasn't there. She was here in America at the time. And I went back home to my mom and I told my mom what was going on. And my mom went down there to kill him.
You know,
my dad was here in America at the time. And you know, people seem to believe that these things don't happen. It happened, but a lot of people won't come out and say.
Right.
As my parents always tell me, if anything like that should happen and you have a way to defend yourself, make sure you leave a mark that nobody can say you're lying.
Thank you for that.
That's what I did.
Thank you for that.
Everybody's gonna get the chance to do that because some people are scared. But my parents, they always tell us, you know, they teach us a little self-defense and what to do in situations to get ourselves out of it. I don't understand these men. What is going on? What is it for your child? You're gonna tell the child that it's not true and you don't believe them?
Sad.
Or is it that you are also one of those
them
persons why you don't believe what those women talk?
Only a man that is one of those could actually come forth with that and think it makes sense. And the crazy part is to see how they double down on it and actually think they're saying something that makes sense. So you know that's a person that's like that.
Exactly. Well, I tell my daughters, I said, any man, if it's your father, your uncle, no matter who it is, just let me know because I see the prison cell with my name written on it. Because I am not gonna stand up and go into no courtroom to defend myself or you saying, oh, people are in doubt whether it's true or not. No, I don't need no witness. I'm going to be the judge, the lawyer, and everything to defend my child. Because these men are callous. Sometimes you have to wonder if they were born from their fathers and not a woman.
Terrible. Terrible.
Yes, it's true.
I was just distracted by a comment where a young lady said her own dad, when she told him, he said, you're lying because your sister told me so or something. I lost the comment just now, but yeah. Even to the parents them out there, like create that space where your child can actually tell you, but you have to act on it once you are told it. You can't make that child feel like, you know.
Never doubt the child. Yes. You can sit that child down and ask them questions, and you will know when a child is lying. You will know.
Right.
But never doubt your child because this thing is always going on. It's not just now.
Facts.
It's from way back when. And I think it's more prevalent in Jamaica because I was just talking to a friend last week and the same thing the girl said, that where they grew up, a well-known family. They were well off. Her parents were poor. Sometimes they would be so hungry that her sister even ended up stealing a biscuit from this man's shop and was beaten by her mom for it because they were so poor. And the man tried to rape her several times, but he did not penetrate her. And when she told her mom beat her and said, this is the man who put the food on our table, how dare you?
And that happens a lot.
It happens a lot.
Happens a lot. I'm getting to realize, you know, some people say it's not Jamaican, it's not just Jamaica, it's happening everywhere. And I have two answers to that. For one, because I've been around a lot of people from other Caribbean islands, and you know how we Caribbean people stay when we link up. I'm realizing that it's actually very much embedded in Caribbean culture. Yes, it's happening everywhere else in the world, like everything else, but we're not focusing on the world. We're focusing on Jamaica, we're focusing on the Caribbean culture, our diaspora, right? And it seems to be something that is very much embedded in Caribbean culture.
And for some reason, why I don't know. Why are they doing these things? Little girls, why are you trying to ruin their future? These are things that children have to live with.
That's not things that they think about, though.
They can't come out and talk. They can't come out and talk, or if the parents don't believe them.
Yes.
Who are you gonna trust if you can't go to your parents with the things that are bothering you or that is affecting you that much?
Like Unstoppable said earlier, that's why some people commit suicide. That's why some people get on drugs. That's why some people become even more promiscuous and all these other things, you know, just turns down all the wrong path, trying to find some way to deal with that trauma.
That is true. That is true. Listen, man, I don't trust nobody around my children. I don't trust no one. They're grown now. My youngest is 19. She's away at university. I was telling her the other day, I said, listen, trust no one. Do not let your guard down. You don't have no friend but yourself.
Facts.
Because friends do things to people, especially when they're away at college. You don't want to hear some of the nightmares that took place in these colleges.
Oh, I'm aware.
So don't let your guard down.
Nice one. Nice one. I take two things away from you this morning. One, don't let your guard down around anyone, absolutely no one. And two, leave a mark. If you're in a position where things are about to happen, leave a mark.
Yeah, because no one else is gonna believe you. You know what? My auntie's husband couldn't explain how his face was busted.
Correct.
He couldn't explain it. Everybody keep asking him, "Oh, what cut you in your face?" And I walk into something false. He could not tell a story. He stopped everything to tell except the truth.
Did he ever try that again with you?
Never. And I went back to my auntie's house and time there. Never said anything to her about it until way down when she ended up divorcing him because he tried it with one of her workers, and my auntie walked in on him.
Wow.
And that is how she divorced him.
Leopard never changes his spots, huh?
Yes, I told him. I said, you really see that mark in his forehead right between his eyes? I gave it to him because he did try that very same thing with me.
Wow.
And I remember she went to eat. We were in the kitchen. I think it was breakfast time. I was around the table and she was arguing with him and he was saying, it's not what you think. Not what you think. I saw what I saw. And I just got up from around the table, grabbed the bread knife, because I said, if he tried this time to hit me because I'm telling the truth, I'm going to do something really bad. And when I said to my auntie, That Martinez fork, I gave it to him because we tried it when we were away. And she said, when was that? And I said, remember when you came back and so on. So and I was telling her, she said, she rushed him with a pot and he ran out of the house. And she threw all of his stuff out. He never came back in until she filed her divorce paper. That was it.
Good. Good.
Done with him.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for calling. Thank you for sharing and leaving us with tips.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, SouFlo. And ladies, please listen to your children. Do not let your guard down. Believe them. Children don't tell lies. They only talk what goes on. They you say, oh, you talk too much. Yes, let them talk.
Facts. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, then, SouFlo.
All right. All right, so we are 1 hour and 55 minutes into this. We can wrap this up. Listen, we covered a couple of things this morning, but most importantly, let's leave this session with a couple of things in mind. I like the two things that she just said. For one, if you're cornered in and you don't have no other choice, like, yeah, leave a mark. And if you can escape, escape. But think about the people who aren't brave enough to do what she did. She might have been 14, but she did brave narrated. Because most 14-year-olds are thinking this adult will kill me. So you mash glass in his face. It's not like it's going to kill him. What if he made up his mind that that's what he was going to do, you know? But she was willing to go that length to make sure that didn't happen to her. Some people are not that brave. Just like how some people don't tell straight off the back what happened to them, and some take years and some never tell, is the same way how some will fight and some will freeze from fear. And it happens, and then they cry and they blame themselves and they live with the trauma of that afterward. So all these tips and things, leave a mark. Don't trust nobody. I've gotten stories from people who it's close family members. So when I say don't trust nobody, I'm not talking about don't trust anybody out in the street, strangers. Some of you are parents, some of you are grandparents. Some of you don't have kids in your house anymore, and some don't have kids yet. But take these lessons and pass them to somebody who does. Because somewhere around you in your life, children are. Maybe your mother's, your brother's children, or your sister's children, or you're even raising your own. Take them tip here and use them with your children as well. All right? We're going to leave this one right here this morning. And again, shout out to Unstoppable. Thanks for calling in. And shout out to all the other callers as well. Why? We can't explain why people do what they do. I mean, we can find labels for it. Sexual deviance, them sticking at them head, all these other things. The reality is they are here. They are among us. So we have to protect us from them. Point blank, period. All right? And stop making it a hostile environment for victims to come forward and speak on their story. It's not your story, and you don't have a place to say a lie she a tell or a lie him a tell. You listen, you lend some empathy, you give a few good words of encouragement, upliftment, all that other stuff. Even if you're thinking, lying, yeah, look on her, a lie she a telling her. Don't say it, because you just caused more damage on top of something that was already damaged. All right? Catch you on the next video tomorrow morning right here on SouFLoTV, where we go live for morning thoughts. All right? Have a wonderful day. I'm out. Peace.